Okay, people, I'm back. Fred White, Tales from the Pen. If you're new to the channel, please go down and hit the subscribe, click the bell, and click all. This way, anytime I put up a video, you will get notification of it. I know YouTube hasn't been sending out a lot of notifications. I know a lot of my people haven't been getting notifications, and I'm sorry about that. That's not on me. I can't control them. Also, if you're new to the channel, my name is Fred. I'm from New York. And what I do on my channel is I talk about my almost 16 years of experience between jails and prisons. I first got arrested at 14, was arrested again at 15, got locked up again at 16, and by 17 I was in prison for felony murder. And what I do on my channel is in a non-glorification kind of way. I don't like to glorify nothing. I just tell stories and experiences, things I've seen, things I've been through, things I've been around, to deter the youth. That's my mission. That's it. A lot of these kids are being misguided. A lot of these kids, are being led down the wrong path. I'm the opposite of that. I'm here to let everybody know that prison is not a game. It's not a joke. That's what I do. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the relationship. Last week we talked about the relationship between inmates and guards, blah, blah, right? This week we're going to add on a little bit to that. And we're going to talk about the relationship of females, guards, civilians, and inmates. Okay? Now, on Rikers Island, it's a bit different. Rikers Island, which is more of what people from out of state would be like a county jail, okay? County jail. Rikers Island is that. Now, in the county jail, it's a little bit different, okay? There's a lot of females. There's a lot of females from around the way. There's a lot of, there's a lot of intermingling going on. And believe it or not, like, I thought about this, right? And I said, you know what? A lot of times the inmates protect the females more than the guards actually do. Like, there's inmates that will protect these females. You know what I mean? There's inmates that will stick up for these female guards, especially on Rikers Island. A lot of them they may know from the streets, things like that. You know what I mean? But I'm going to be honest with you. It takes a lot to be a female guard. That's the truth. It takes a lot. You got to go in there with a different kind of mindset. Because if you go in there all sweet, you go in there all nice and polite, they're going to eat you up. You got to realize that. You know what I mean? As inmates, we had nothing but better to do but think of things and think of schemes and think of, ways to take us out of the environment that we're in. Right? So talking to female officers, that's like that tries to be a big thing, right? You understand? So the female officers have to be a bit different. They got to be like trained right and understand that, what's behind those walls. You understand? You're getting in the water with sharks. You know what I mean? So you better be able to swim. That's a fact. Right? Also, there's a lot of guys in there who do degenerate shit, man. Degenerate shit, especially on Rikers Island. On Rikers Island is a little different. Like I said, upstate, you can't get away with some of the stuff you do on Rikers Island. Let's get this straight. Like, when a female comes on a tier, right, she's supposed to announce, female on the tier, so everyone's supposed to be dressed, right? I'm just giving you an example of some of the stuff that these female guards go through. So everyone's supposed to be dressed and at least have something on. There's a female coming through doing the count. But you'll have dudes that'll just be there in their headphones acting like they ain't hear her and be just laid out naked. You know what I'm saying? Just laid up like they in fucking Playgirl magazine or something. You know what I mean? Or they'll sit there and they have their joint out holding it while they're urinating. Knowing that she's going to pass. Knowing that she's going to see, right? Like, they'll test her. Especially new guards. They'll test her. So that guy, that's laying there naked, right? He's supposed to get in trouble for that. He's supposed to get written up, indecent exposure. He's supposed to. But if she don't say nothing and just keeps on going, they know they got one. You understand? They know. Oh, okay. Next night, same thing. He might be... Motherfucker might be in the cell doing jumping jacks. Shit swinging everywhere, you know what I mean? while she's doing the count, like, oh, I didn't know you were coming. I have my headphones. I didn't, you know? And then the next night she comes past, and like on Rikers Island, is a door, and then there's like a window, long window, right? And dudes will sit there, and then, you know, and she can't see below. So he'll be on the gate, and he'll be touching himself, playing with himself as she walks past. So dudes is fucking degenerates. I seen it blatantly. Like, I seen it blatant. Like, a dude, you know, he got pounded out for this too, but he was by the phones on Rikers Island, C-74, right? Anybody been in C-74, they're going to understand this. When they come through the gate, right there is the phone and the bubble, right? The bubble is where the police be at. They control everything in there. There's two sides of, in C-74, like, just say one main has north side, south side, two sides. So they control everything from that area. They can see down both tiers. You with me? So, dude, you know, this like 5 feet up, maybe 5 feet up is all brick, and that's where the phone is. And then there's the bubble, which is the glass. I seen dude be up there talking to her, and he was there jerking off. You know what I mean? While he's talking to her, jerking off, hand in his pocket. You know, I've seen dudes blatant with it. Like, you know, they get dealt with. You know what I mean? Those guys are degenerates and shit. But dudes be right up on the gate like this. It's tough for a female guard in the penitentiary. It's a fact. And, you know, it's a job that, like, I don't understand why, you know what I mean? Maybe a lifelong dream or something. Like, I'm not really sure. But I'm going to be honest, it's like one of the toughest jobs for a female to be a corrections officer. Now, upstate is different, okay? Now, upstate, you know, I've spoken with female guards where they tell them, you know, this is what they've told me. They don't like them to wear makeup. They want them to be as plain as possible. Just pull your hair back, put it in a put. That's it. Put it like that, you know, or short hair. Like, they don't want anything fancy, and you coming in, you know what I'm saying, with your Kim Kardashian fucking eyeliner and all that. They don't play all that. You come in plain Jane. And you're supposed to wear baggier clothes as a female. Like, you're not supposed to wear tight form-fitting things or arouse the inmates. Like, this is what they are, you know, have been told. You know what I mean? From females themselves, you know. So this is how they have to do. Sometimes, though, it don't work out like that. Like in Kaksaki, there was one. Her name is Miss Bell. I spoke about her in one of my other videos, you know, early in the beginning. So if you didn't watch any of the first ones, I'm going to tell you the story. So Miss Bell was like, I'm trying to remember, but I think Miss Bell was like the only African-American female that I've seen upstate. I could be wrong. I'm just saying that's the only one I remember. Upstate prisons, when you go up in the mountains, I think she was the only African-American female prisoner. And she was young. She was like 25, 26. And, you know, it didn't matter how baggy this stuff on, you know, you know what I mean? So all the guys loved her, but she was like hardcore. You know, like she was on some, you know, crazy shit. But again, when you're dealing with so much, you know, deranged people, you have to build up something. You have to build up a guard, right? You know what I mean? And she was one of them, like, you know what I mean? And I remember one instance, I told the story before, but so this kid Sha, I remember Sha well, right? So Sha, we used to have what was called feed-up slots in Kaksaki, right? Where the door is there, and the place where they put stuff through, like your mail and your food, if you're on keep lock, right? Which is like you're locked in your cell 24 hours a day, 23 hours a day, but not the hole, which is just called keep lock. So they had a little slot, okay? Now, later on, they started building the slot where they could, flaps, where they could close it and lock it so you can't stick your hands out. But back then, you could stick your hand out or whatever. So he was like, Miss Bell passed by. Miss Bell was passing by. He said, can you pass the sandwich down two cell, whatever, to, 14 cell or whatever? And she was like, all right, give it to me. Right? Because sometimes as police are passing by, it depends who it is. You're like, hey, man, can you give this magazine to 17 for me? They'll do it. You know, sometimes, right? So she was like, all right, give me the sandwich. So, it's in the feed up slot, and she's trying to take it, right? It's 2 pieces of bread, and she's trying to pull it. She's like, give it to me, give it to me. People start laughing. She looked, she screamed, ah! This dude put his joint in between 2 pieces of bread and put it on the gate. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? So she was like pulling it, Oh, man. Oh, man, they broke Sha up, man. They hurt Sha real bad. Broke all types of bones in his body. They came up in that cell and beat the fuck out of him. They came up in that cell and beat the fuck out of Sha. Took him, dragged him out, I heard all types of stories. I never actually seen him again after that incident. But I've heard all types of things. Broken arms, legs. It's what they do. I remember another time, Miss Bell, she was beefing with somebody, and the kid, I don't remember what the incident was for. I don't remember like what actually, sparked it or whatever, but them two had words, Miss Bell and this inmate. When he came out for a shower, it's like keep lock shower, he came out, and his drawers and all that came out, and she was up in the front, he snuffed her. BAM! Caught her. BAM! Broke her jaw. She fell out, some teeth, broke her jaw, fucked her up. Just he hit her once, boom. It's like he stomped her. He hit her once and she fell face first. Another one, you know what they did? You know what I mean? Who knows what happened to that kid? But I know he got fucked up. I remember him screaming, my arms, because the way they had him, they cuffed him to the back, and then they were just lifting his arms. So like his arms were like up here, but it was like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Banging his head. Telling you. They protect them, upstate, forget it. You do anything to a female officer, you may die. This is fact. 1000%. But the thing is that sometimes some of them, you gotta admire them for taking these positions. Like, I could never understand. You know what I mean? It's, especially like, young ones coming through, cute ones coming through. I could never understand, how, or, like, why would they ever want to do that? You know what I mean? I can't answer that. Like, I don't know why, but it's just something maybe in their DNA. But, I mean, female inmates go through so much, man. So much. Also, I know, like, female civilians, okay? Now, upstate, they have, like, say, in commissary or certain positions up in the front office, things like that, where they hire outside people from the town, whatever town the jail is in, right? And they're females. And they work right next to, with inmates. You know what I mean? Like, hand in hand. Right in the commissary. Now, I remember my boy Les, right? Les, Les, he's from Lower East Side. Les, that's the one thing about jail, too. Like, whatever area you're from, like, that's, dudes will call you that. You know what I mean? You know how many, if you're from Queensbridge, it's just natural. Everyone calls you QB. Yo, QB. Don't ask me why. I'm just saying. Brownsville. You know how many shorty Brownsvilles I know? You know how many Bed-Stuys I know? Like, dudes be like, yo, you know Bed-Stuy? I'm like, which one? Right? Because a lot of times in the area, you know what I mean? Yo, Harlem. Like, I don't know. But there's a lot of dudes who take the name of, like, the area that they're from or whatever, right? So, anyway. So, Les, right? Les. So, Les, he was working in this commissary in one of these little spots I was in a medium. And, he got close with one of the females. I mean, you could tell, like, she wasn't getting, like she wasn't getting no rhythm in her town. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? Like, she was, right, like, she was a behemoth. She was like some woolly mammoth, like, ugh. But anyway, like, when you're in there, that's just, it is what it is, right? Some people will lower their standards. It doesn't matter, right? That's just the way it is. You see it all the time on the visiting floor, when they come grazing through, and it's like, what is this, right? So it's the same thing, right? Like I was just always one of them. I just never, it just wasn't my thing. If I don't care how she, I have morals and standards. But anyway, so Les, he started, he started smashing this civilian lady. She'd be writing them letters. Like, she'd be writing them, like, and mailing them. Rather than them just bringing it right to their work together, she was writing them and mailing them. And got caught. Shout out to Les. They gave Les like 90 days in the box for that or something, for having intercourse with her. Like, because she was writing all this stuff. And, like, he's just an inmate, right? But a lot of that happens, man. A lot of that happens where, the inmates and the female guards get close. On Rikers Island, man. There was a couple of them that was like pretty much selling it, giving it away. I know names, specific names, but I'm just, you know what I mean? I can't do that. I definitely can't do that, right? But I know chicks that was selling it. You know what I mean? They'd work and they inmates would have money on Rikers Island. $50, whatever it was she was doing. She was running a fucking like an escort service. Got caught. I mean, everyone gets caught, And you know who usually is the teller? Usually it's the inmates who tell. You know what I mean? Like, usually an inmate get caught up in something else. Got caught with some weed or some bullshit. Now they want to talk to administration. They want to get up out of that 90 days solitary or whatever bullshit. They'll tell them the whole thing, and that's what they do. Right? Not every inmate is solid. Let's get this straight, people. Not every inmate is solid. No, it's not. It's a lot of degenerates, a lot of losers. You know what I mean? Like, that's why a lot of times dudes, they talk about they did a bid. I'm like, yeah, so what? Like, that don't make you, that don't make you tough because you did a bid. That don't make you gangster because you did a bid. Oh, I did a bid. Oh, ooh. Whoa. Because there's a lot of sucker people, in there too, man. You know what I mean? And those be the ones that's telling. I'm telling you. They get caught up in some nonsense and tell administration, because administration would want to know if a guard is bringing in drugs, bringing in whatever. Because on Rikers, back in the days, I ain't speaking for now, I'm saying back in the days, Rikers, 90% of the stuff that came in was through the guards. Any drugs that came in? Not all of them. Maybe, I said 90, that's too much. Maybe 60% of the stuff that you see. The other 40 comes, from elsewhere. Matter of fact, I used to get a like Allegra type, because, my allergies are always bad. And up there, the only thing they wanted to give you was Benadryls. And the Benadryls, just, they make you sleepy. You know what I mean? That's what they want. They want you, they want you sleepy. So I never liked it. So my mom, rest her soul, rest in peace, in this one little spot, we ain't going to identify the spot, but I had a whole system going on in there. True story. She used to bring me allergy medication. Swear to God. Allergy medication. Like Claritin or, one of them type things. That way I could take it and not, and not be affected, because I was in this medium which had a lot of trees and shit. Grass and shit. And she used to bring it in. And what she used to do is, she used to take it, and we would get a certain bag of chips or whatever, Tostitos or something from the vending machine. She'd take it out, whatever she, however she, she'd just keep it right in her bra and walk through. She wouldn't bring, right? So she'd take it, and she'd wrap it in toilet paper. Just thought my mom was a fucking smuggler, yo. Allergy medicine. Then she put it in this in this Tostitos thing. So now at the end of the visit, we wait till almost last, everybody's leaving. She'll take that and put that in the garbage. Now in the nighttime, you know what I'm saying? My boy used to work in the visitor room at night cleaning up. You see what I'm saying? Yo, he already knew. You know what I'm saying? Third garbage can, the Tostitos right up top. Boom, bang, bang. He get back. There's no stripper. He was just cleaning. He's working. He just goes back to his thing. It was none of that. Just like that. I mean, and I could have got anything. It's just I already told you guys, never been into drugs. Never was my thing. The only drug I ever did was smoked weed in my life. Like, I've never used another drug. Nothing ever in my life, ever. Lying. Half an ecstasy pill one time. Half an ecstasy pill once. Half. I didn't like it. So, weed, I've smoked that in the past. Other than that, I've never used a drug in my life, so it's never my thing. You know what I mean? I'm just giving you an example of that. My mama was a drug smuggler. Rest in peace to mom. Shout out to mom. You know what I mean? But that's just the way it goes. And so I would say 60% of the stuff comes right through the guards, man. We used to have this one guard too, right? I know I veered off topic from the females, but you guys know how I do. So I remember this one police, right? Ip. We ain't gonna say his name, but Ip. That's what we used to call him. And then this one medium, like, just say on the weekends everything shut down at 11. You can only watch TV in the day room till like 1 or something like that. You could, but all the lights is off. It's just the day room. Like, you can't be hanging out in people's cubes playing like, you know, it's either day room or nothing. But this one police used to work nights. He was mad cool, man. Some of the police is alright. This is what I'm trying to say. Not every police is the same. So he used to come. And he used to let us, we used to play poker in the kitchen area. Bam, bam, bam. It'd be like 5, 6 of us back there. No one else come back there. You know what I'm saying? You know, and unless somebody wanted to come get something from them, they had like 2 fridges in there. Something like that. But anyway, the kitchen was locked off. Like, don't come back here. We playing cards. Don't blow it up. Get out of here. So, but the police, he was down with it. He was cool. Like, he was a cool dude from up there. You know what I mean? And, you know, he used to let us stay up late. Because what happens is when the sergeant's about to make these rounds to sign their book, only once at night, the sergeant comes around, you know, to every house. He would get the call, yo, sergeant just left. Then he'd come in the kitchen, yo, sergeant's on his way. You know, that meant we had like 10 minutes or whatever before he got to our house. You see what I'm saying? He would go to house. Are you with me? So, he would do that, and we'd all go to our cubes or whatever, lay down. The sergeant come through, sign the book. How's everything? Okay, signs the book, and he just leaves. That's just, he don't want to, you know. He goes to the next house. That's what he does. When he leaves, goes to the next house, we get back up. We play cards. You know what I'm saying? So Ip my man Mikey used to front him. He's like, Ip's gonna play with us today. First we was like, what? Like, but Ip was mad cool, but Ip was a fish. You know what I'm saying? Ip was like he thought he could get into the ring with us. You understand what I mean? Like, he thought until he actually put the gloves on. Boop, 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 and you know. So he would get on the card table and he would just lose. But Mikey would give him chips. Like, Mikey would pay his ante, whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? Mikey would pay it and give him chips. So he'd be playing at the table just like us. Swear to God, he'd be playing. I'm telling you. Playing right with us. He'd lose, and then every night he'd be bringing us food. We used to call them New York sandwiches and stuff. Newspapers. But he used to bring sandwiches like they were his, like he was going to eat them at his desk and give them to us. You know what I'm saying? We'd be making orders. Yo, I want turkey, cheese, lettuce, a little bit of onions. You know, make sure it has mayo on both sides. And then the next night, Ip would bring it in. Like, if Ip didn't bring it in, what could we do? Nothing. But Ip was... You know what I mean? He was solid. He was a solid... I'm telling you, not all of them is like that, man. Not all of them is dicks. Most of them are. Let's get this straight. Maybe 70%. You know what I mean? But you run into just some dudes, you know, they took the job and they do their job. Because you got some people that go above and beyond of what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like, above and beyond. And then you got ones that come in and just do their job and just want to go home. You know what I'm saying? Not make problems. They just want to go home, get their paycheck, and go. They don't want any problems. They don't want any beef. They don't... You know what I mean? You can tell the difference in some of those, you know, in the ones. But Ip, you know what I mean? Ip was cool. So Ip used to bring us in. Again, I ain't speaking about what jail, and I ain't telling you his whole name. That's just what we used to call him. Bring us in whatever we wanted. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to leave it like that, you know, on that end. But it happens all the time. It happens all the time. But again, back to the female prisoners, like female guards. I mean, it takes a lot to be a female guard. I'm going to tell you that. You got to build up a certain hardcore mentality. It's different. You know what I mean? You got to be a certain breed to be a female corrections officer. That's just the truth. Shout out to all of, you know, shout out to all the good ones. You know, shout out to all the good ones. That's it, people. You know, I just wanted to come on here, put this little video up, vibe a little bit with you guys. You know, I'll be back. Hey, are you guys liking my Ride With Me series? See my Ride With Me series? The first one I did was in Times Square, just riding around. See, I'm just getting used to it, right? Then the last one I did up in Harlem. You know what I'm saying? I went down 125th Street. Anybody interested in seeing 125th Street? I know a lot of people is not from New York who, you know, who subscribe to me. 125th Street, we went up to the Apollo. I showed everybody the Apollo. Went down to the Danger Zone, a.k.a. 139th and Lenox. I showed the area where Big L grew up, where he perished. I went and showed the mural. You know what I mean? I think that this could maybe catch on to some. You guys let me know what you want to see, what areas you want to see, and I'll go there. And I'll tell a little bit about the history of it. I'll drive through. Maybe I'll get out, walk around a little bit. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about that idea? I don't know if people have that idea already, but I haven't seen it. I'm just saying is that, you know, hopefully they don't. But let me know what you guys think. I also did one last night. I did one up in Dykeman, up in Inwood. You know what I mean? And I drove through up there. My family grew up there. That's where all my family's from. The Dykeman Inwood area. I went over to Dykeman Park. I walked through Dykeman projects. You know what I mean? So let me know if you guys want to see those type things, man. I'm going to probably put that one up tomorrow. But let me know if you're interested. If anybody wants to see a certain specific area, put it down in the comment. And then I'll shout you out as I'm walking through that certain area. That's how we're going to do this. All right, people. I appreciate you guys taking your little time out. Coming and vibing with Fred White. Come back to you with a few more stories later on in the week. You guys know the motto. Experience is the greatest teacher. But somebody else's experience could be just as valuable if you pay attention and listen. And on that note, Fred White, signing off. Love you guys.